In the middle of global economic tension, one idea has captured the world's attention: the possibility of a new BRICS currency. You've probably seen the headlines. You've heard the speculation. And maybe you've even seen people claiming that BRICS is about to replace the US dollar. But the truth is more complicated and far more interesting. A new currency hasn't been launched. No official replacement has been announced. What exists right now is a conversation, a proposal, and a glimpse into how global power is shifting beneath the surface. And that alone is enough to change the financial world. So today, we're going to break down what this new BRICS currency actually means, why it suddenly became a trending topic, and what the logic is behind this idea. Let's start from the beginning. BRICS Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa represents some of the largest and fastest growing economies on Earth. Together, they hold more than 3 billion people. They control major energy supplies, manufacturing hubs, agricultural markets, and global trade routes. For years, these countries relied on the US dollar to settle international payments. It worked, but it also created a dependency. And dependency is where the discussion begins. Every time a country trades in dollars, it has to pass through a financial system that the United States influences: interest rates, sanctions, transaction rules, and global regulations. For some nations, this is stability. For others, it feels like vulnerability. So BRICS began asking a simple question: what if we could trade using something other than the dollar? Not to crash it, not to replace it, but to reduce reliance on a system they don't control. This is how the idea of a BRICS currency entered the spotlight. Now let's clear one thing up immediately. BRICS has not launched a new currency. What they have discussed are three main concepts. The first idea is a shared settlement unit, something similar to what the early European nations used before the euro existed. Not a physical banknote, but a common unit for trade. The second idea is a basket currency, sometimes referred to as the R5, named after the 5 existing national currencies: the riel, ruble, rupee, renminbi, and rand. This system would combine multiple currencies into one unit to reduce volatility. And then there is the idea people talk about the most: a gold-linked or asset-backed digital currency for international trade. Not to hold in your wallet, but to settle transactions between countries at stable value. These are ideas, not final decisions. But the fact that they're being discussed is enough to shift global conversations. So why is this trending now? Because the world is changing and BRICS wants a bigger seat at the economic table. Sanctions have pushed some countries to find alternatives. Energy markets are shifting. Digital payments are rising. And emerging economies want more influence over how global money moves. A BRICS currency, even as a concept, signals a desire for independence. Not from the world, but from over-reliance on any single financial system. And whether the currency arrives tomorrow, 10 years from now, or never at all, the discussion itself tells us something important. Global finance is entering a new phase. The dominance of the dollar isn't ending, but the world around it is diversifying. Just as companies reduce business risk by creating multiple revenue streams, countries are trying to reduce economic risk by creating multiple payment systems. This is not revolution. It's strategy. But here's the deeper logic most people overlook. When nations talk about building a shared currency, they aren't just talking about money, they're talking about power. Currency determines who sets the rules, who pays the fees, who holds the leverage, and who can act independently when markets shake. For BRICS nations, the question is not how to replace the dollar. The question is how to gain more freedom inside a system dominated by one currency. And that raises a much bigger point. The global financial system isn't fixed, it evolves. The British pound once ruled world trade. Before that, it was silver. Before that, gold alone. Every shift in global currency reflects a shift in global influence. And BRICS, with its expanding membership and economic weight, is trying to position itself for the future. Not by forcing change, but by preparing for the moment when change becomes necessary. So what does all this mean for you? It means the world you live in is becoming more multipolar, more shared, more balanced, and more competitive. Multiple currencies may shape trade. Multiple systems may handle global payments. And countries may not rely on a single financial structure the way they once did. Will BRICS launch a currency? It's possible. Will it replace the dollar? Highly unlikely in the near term. But will it influence the future of global finance? Absolutely. Because sometimes the most powerful shift isn't the creation of a new currency. It's the conversation that makes the world consider alternatives. If this helped you understand what's happening beneath the headlines, hit subscribe. At Legacy of Money, we explore how nations, markets, and ideas reshape the global economy and what those changes mean for your financial future.